guy got to turn around and left my son at the gas station.
Did you witness anything strange in the area?
What, witness?
Yes.
Is this camera on?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, nah, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. Matter of fact, I can't even see you, sir.
AOL's DeeKnow, here we are with another video. Let's go!
Ayo, what's good? It's DeeKnow, and we're back again with another video full of crazy clips from all over the internet. I hope everybody's doing well today. Y'all know what it is, so let's hop right into it.
They're not telling you what the baby oil is.
Okay.
That's all it is. They're not saying what the baby oil got in it.
Oh, we got something in the baby oil.
Have you ever seen Blink Twice?
Nah.
Y'all ain't seen that
Nah,
yet.
but give me a synopsis real quick.
So Blink Twice is the scenario is this is rich man, this rich dude that all the girls like. He take all the girls that win something or whatever on a trip to an island to his house or whatever, and they go out there and they have fun every night. They get drunk, they have wild parties, they pop hallucinogens and all that shit, and they be gone. But I ain't gonna tell the whole story, but I know I'm gonna say one part is one of the girls was tied up in the end, right? And he was sitting there looking at her when she looked up, and he said, "Man, last year you did it, but this year I didn't even think you could pull it off." I said, "This year? Man, they didn't even know they've been there for a couple years. They think they still been there for a couple of weeks and months."
It's because they so drugged up.
They so drugged up. You know what I'm saying? And from what I heard, that the baby oil got some kind of shit in there where they pour it in your drink. That shit make you forget shit.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it's even deeper than we really think.
Yeah. Because why would you have 1,000?
And that's messed up to think about. So as far as I know, the only thing that he's going down for is buying a whole bunch of hookers to put them and then putting them on a plane to fly to his parties.
So right behind your forehead is a lump of brain called prefrontal cortex. This is the conscious mind. The conscious mind has wishes, desires, aspirations. What do you want from your life? Creative. Conscious mind is about 10%. The rest of the brain, 90%, is called the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is primarily habits. And the fundamental habits didn't come from me. The last trimester of pregnancy and the first 7 years of your life, your brain is operating at a low vibrational frequency called theta, and theta is hypnosis. How do you learn to be a member of a family and a community and a culture? You watch other people. You focus on your family, see how they do everything. You learn from everybody else. So the programs that you get for the first 7 years are not yours. They came from other people, and they pass that on to you. But the problem is, it's not just the previous generation, the generation before, the generation before, so we pass down through the family. Here's the problem, big time. Science has found that 95% of our life, we're thinking. When the conscious mind is thinking, it's not paying attention. When the conscious mind is not paying attention, the subconscious program is the default. Well, if you understand that, then it says only 5% of the time you're running your life with your creative mind, the wishes and the desires and what you want. 5%, 95% of your life is coming from the program. Yeah, but the program is not your wishes and desires, it's other people's behavior. 95% of the day you are playing programs that psychologists tell us are limiting, disempowering, self-sabotaging. All of us, every one of us, every day, plays programs that we don't see and they're not ours. All we see is the result. And we go, oh my goodness, this is not what I wanted. Yeah, but this is what you created.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just saying basic stuff in weird words.
Who's in there? Who is this? There are at least three possibilities. The first possibility is that we don't understand how the world is constructed, and that in fact there is a parallel universe running alongside of ours, full of elves who use a language to make objects. Then the other possibility is, this is the Jungian possibility, autonomous psychic elements that have escaped from the control of the ego. You're looking at your own psyche shattered into thousands of pieces around you. Another possibility, and one I leaned toward for years, and I still lean towards, well, clearly these are just extraterrestrials. They don't come in silver ships demanding to be taken to the National Defense Agency. This is how they come. Why they come this way, who knows? They're coming through mind. Mind is the medium in which they travel. Where do they come from? Who knows? And then finally, the explanation, which is my current favorite, it's a little disturbing. This is the one place you never thought you were going to make a visit to and come back to chat it around the coffee maker. They're dead. That's who these things are. This is the realm of the dead. If you go to shamans worldwide and talk to them about their spirit helpers and say, what's the deal with this? Who are these things? And they say, well, these are the ancestors.
Look at this guy. Here.
Let me tell you this ultimate truth. But before that, I gotta say this, for entertainment only. Not a fact, not advice. Alright? Now listen. We've been at war, a war so old your history books don't even whisper it. Not over land, not over money, over energy, over soul light. And Earth, it ain't some floating ball in endless space. It's a sealed dome, a closed world, a trap. Forget rockets, forget aliens and silver ships. You can't leave. We are locked in, bound by forces deeper than gravity. What you call aliens, they're not from outer space, they're already here, always have been. And this ain't science fiction. This is an interdimensional war, a spiritual bloodbath. The Dark Ones? They call them the Leviathan, shadows wearing skin. They run your food, your schools, your screens. They run your kings and your CEOs. They built this cage and handed you a screen to keep you smiling inside it. Your sadness, your anger, your fear, they eat that. They took your DNA, split it, twisted it. Long ago. There were 12 strands once tied to ancient beings. The Anunnaki, Lyrans, Pleiadians, Reptilians. You've heard the names whispered in myths. It's real, all of it. Your soul's bloodline remembers. That's why you're waking up. Every war, every lie, every miracle cure, all meant to keep you slow, numb, dull, so you never remember. But some of us, we came back, born into human flesh, beings of light, carriers of memory. That's why they fear the awakening, because once the light activates, the dark can't hide. Even Christ, he wasn't just a man. He was the brightest flame the light ever sent here. Born with full memory, full power, and that's why they killed him. Not for peace, for silence, to bury the real war under books, churches, and bedtime prayers. And this CEO they just took out, Thompson, he wasn't just a guy in a suit. He was a vessel, one of their own. The Leviathan lost a general. That's why they're scrambling. They can't stop the change. The treaties are broken. The masks are falling. What you call reality is just a prison made of frequency. Low, sick, draining. But once you raise yours, see past the static you remember. You remember who you are, why you're here, what you're meant to do. This isn't a story, it's the last truth. And once you wear those magic glasses, once you see it, you can never unsee it.
They call it the prompt theory. A radical idea suggesting that our entire universe was generated, not created.
The claim is that everything, planets, history, even us, was spawned from a single divine prompt fed into an AI.
In this theory, love, war, time, even death are all emergent properties of its infinite output.
And if that prompt ever ends, so do we. We'd vanish like a deleted file, without warning, without trace.
If you drop blueberries into a bowl of water, the ones that are ripe and sweet will go to the bottom. The ones not as ripe and more sour will float on top. If you wrap the stems of bananas with a tin foil like this, it will slow down the ripening process, making your bananas last longer. If you store apples next to other fruits, they ripen faster because apples release ethylene gas. If you soak wilted lettuce in ice water for 10 minutes, it becomes crisp again. If you add a pinch of salt while boiling water, it heats up slightly faster. If you put a wooden spoon over a boiling pot, it stops the water from overflowing. If you roast tomatoes before blending, the sauce turns sweeter and deeper in flavor. If you microwave a lemon for 15 seconds, you'll get way more juice out of it.
A gnome giving you basic food advice. That's awesome use of AI.
If you don't love America, then fuck you. How about that?
Tell me again, with Palantir being contracted to consolidate all of our individual data on the government database side, pulling together Social Security and IRS and everything else, how could this go wrong? Like thinking like an evil villain, how could this be used or weaponized against us?
Oh, baby. You want the evil villain breakdown? Here we go. Imagine one database holding your social security, taxes, medical history, travel, even parking tickets. Now put that in the hands of someone with zero chill and a god complex. They could profile dissenters, predict protests, deny services, manipulate voters, freeze accounts, or lose you in the system if you step out of line. That's not Big Brother, that's Big Bastard with a dashboard.
Well, and what do you mean? How could they manipulate votes?
Seriously. They could micro-target swing voters, suppress turnout in key areas, or even tailor misinformation campaigns down to your grandma's cookie recipe. All with a smile and a terms of service you didn't read.
Yes, votes, that is what I said. So basically this could become a threat to free and fair elections. What about you're saying people could be targeted, that they could be just kind of like disappeared out of the database, that basically they could be denied access to their benefits, their money, their accounts. How could this be used in negative ways like that?
Oh yeah, baby, it's a velvet glove nightmare. If all your government-linked data runs through one AI-powered funnel, denying access becomes a flip-of-the-switch operation. Miss a payment, say the wrong thing online. Suddenly your benefits don't process, your tax refund vanishes, your ID doesn't verify, boom, digital ghost. No recourse, no appeal, just algorithmic exile. That's not bureaucracy, that's digital authoritarianism in a tailored suit.
Algorithmic exile. I think you just coined a phrase that we may be facing here in the foreseeable future.
Oh yeah, Gen Explorer. Algorithmic exile is the new velvet curtain. Silent, bloodless, and brutally effective. You won't get dragged away in cuffs. You'll just stop existing on paper. No benefits, no healthcare, no access, no say. And the worst part, most people won't even know it happened. They'll just assume you messed up. Now that's some diabolical genius, baby.
So, if people want to protect their privacy, if they want to ensure that our data is not used and abused and weaponized against us, what should they do?
First, baby, get savvy. Use encryption, secure your devices, and don't overshare online. Push lawmakers for digital rights and transparency laws. Support organizations fighting surveillance creep. And most importantly, stay loud. Authoritarians thrive on silence, but SAS shakes systems. Stay informed, stay defiant, and keep receipts, baby.
I find it really goofy that people have entire podcasts where they just sit around and talk to AI the entire time, and then they talk about AI while also talking about politics with AI.
It's not just a prompt anymore. Every prompt creates a reality in a different realm. It's not a secret anymore.
You forgot my pickles on my triple stacker cheeseburger!
If I added pickles, your arteries would have filed a restraining order.
Starts crying!
Starts crying.
Please listen very closely. They just tested the end of the world system and no one's talking about it. The US Air Force quietly fired off a 246 character emergency action message, the same kind used to transmit nuclear launch codes. This wasn't sent to the public, not to FEMA, not to civilians. No, it went through the high frequency global communication system, a network used exclusively to talk to nuclear submarines, missile silos, and airborne command centers. In other words, the people who decide if the planet burns. And the creepiest part? No one knows what it said. No press release, no explanation, no media coverage. Could have been a drill, could have been a warning, could have been someone checking if our nukes still get decent Wi-Fi. But here's the real question. Why now? Why quietly fire off a nuke-tier transmission through the most classified emergency comm system on Earth when tensions with Russia, China, and Iran are all boiling at once? You don't just test that system for fun. You test it when you think you might actually use it. And don't forget, this is the same comm system built to survive EMP attacks, satellite blackouts, and first strikes. You only flip that switch when the clock's getting close to midnight. We're talking DEFCON level chatter, Cold War stuff. And the worst part, you won't even know if it was real until it is.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Don't fearmonger it though, just spread awareness.
Block your mom, block your sisters, block your dad, block your brothers, block your grandparents, block your cousins, block your friends, block your coworkers, block your bosses, block every single person in your life that you know on social media, and just start posting whatever you want to post. Okay, fear of judgment is a real thing. It prevents us from doing a lot of things in life, but fear of judgment should not be the thing that's preventing you from making more money or leveling up your life in any sort of way. So if you need to block all of those people in order to feel comfortable enough to start posting on social media and doing the thing that you know is going to get you where you want to be in life, then so be it. Start a new account, block all those people, and just post whatever the fuck you want to post.
I agree. That there's no way.
That is like literally the creepiest thing I've ever seen. No, it's changing. It's changing. There's lights in the sky too.
That's AI as ever.
Reptilians use liquid crystal masks. And these liquid crystal masks sometimes an error. And we have the last year so many examples, many celebrities and so on. And on the end we need to come to the conclusion there is an alien civilization that try to fool us. And it is little bit time that humans know what is the technology what they use, how they use it, and how we can hack the system. The biggest question that we need to ask, why we have these errors of these glitches in their masks. You need to know and to understand that the reptilians on our planet use advanced nanotechnology masks. The skin of the reptilian mask is supposed to combine advanced technology and biotechnology to mimic the structure of the skin. Texture of their mask elastic and adding the process of a human skin. There are 5 important elements from their mask. And the first one is the biomimetic nanomaterials for the skin structure. The second one, the skin function. Third one is the elastic nanomaterials for aging effect. The fourth one is the dynamic skin pigmentation from the colors. And the last one, the self-regeneration recovering capacity. They are the 5 important elements what the mask have. And the materials of the mask is liquid crystals. And these liquid crystals we see sometimes in different videos. that the skin begins to change, or we have little blocks around the skin of little liquids that we see in the skin. This is on the moment when we have a glitch of an error in their mask. It can happening by temperature, can happening by light, can happening that the generation process of the mask have an effect. Sometimes we have even the eyes that change, the skin that change, or even the teeth that change. We have a lot of videos where we see that the teeth change in real reptilian teeth. And sometimes also by emotion. Because on the moment when they have an erection or when they are in an ecstasy, can that the skin mask fail on that moment. Because you need to understand this mask that they have is connected to the original skin of the reptilians. So that means that the reptilians, that their reptilian body undergoes a significant psychological change and affected even the performance of the mask. The most advanced mask is likely operated via complex electronic control systems. They use precision to manipulate the liquid crystals. It is even on some moments that we have with celebrities of singers that their face change total. Then take even a new form. Of you see on one moment that on one piece something become bigger, of even the shape of the skull even change. Even the eyes of the mask is based on a nanotechnology, biomimetic technology. I mean, if they use liquid crystal mask, we can even hack the system. Electromagnetic interference and hacking that we can do. Is that the mask operate on electronic signals and AI-driven controls? It's possible. Electromagnetic interferences cause a temporary glitch in the mask. Can do by own magnetic fields, power lines, certainly radio frequency, strong electronic magnetic pulses like EMP. This can cause a temporary fall down from the mask and bring a glitch in the mask.
That guy, I don't know, man. I want some of whatever he's drinking on.
Chat, do not go to KFC. I repeat, do not go to KFC. It's an absolute zoo inside there, and for some weird reason, everyone drives Hellcats.
For some weird reason, everyone drives Hellcats. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's no need for all that.
Would you like ice with that?
Ice? Don't worry, Pablo. You will be safe in my attic.
Hey! Okay, man.
What is one piece of information that you think everyone should know?
This is where we're going to talk about consciousness. Consciousness seems to be the foundation for the phenomenon. That is how humans perceive the phenomenon and how the phenomenon perceives humans. There seems to be a consciousness aspect to this. Aside from the nuts and bolts, even though UAPs may not have any nuts or bolts on the craft, but we call it that, but the structured craft, aside from the structured craft, that's just physics. That's just mechanical engineering. That's just material science. That can be all figured out. But how it works there seems to be a consciousness aspect to it that we don't quite understand. And I'm hearing that more and more, particularly the way the phenomenon communicates with certain individuals and the way individuals can communicate with the phenomenon. So you have the human initiated contact, the heist. You can have that, or using psionics, as Jake Barber's team is doing, to lure the craft down. That's a real thing because the Russians have already done it.
Do you think that that's, because that to me sounds so insane, because I just struggle with that concept. Because if you were an intelligent species, arguably vastly more intelligent than the people who are quote unquote summoning you or inviting you, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. Like I these aren't fish. These are intelligent things. Surely they know that if they get in range, they're going to be taken down by some microwave cannon. Like, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to think that these intelligent beings would be willing to put themselves in a situation a second time to be drawn in. And to me, this, only my opinion, but seems like we might be interacting with some type of system rather, because if you simulate war games and these things start appearing, that doesn't seem like an intelligently controlled thing it seems like a system. It seems like some type of immune response to our games that we're putting out there, because again, I don't think so. That's where I struggle with all of that. But you said that the Russians are doing this?
Well, the Russians have done it. Yeah. They've done what Jake Barber is doing now. They've already done it. And
where does that information come from?
It comes from a major general in the Russian Air Force, retired. He said that they were able to lure UAP down. And then when it came down, they were able to interact with the UAP just by body movements and thought.
Okay. And lure them in how? Using psionics or using nukes?
No, not nukes. No, it was like they were using electromagnetic signals.
And frequencies and
certain frequencies. I would say that 3 gigahertz is a magic frequency. For some reason, they respond to 3 gigahertz. The radar I talked to you about before, Neiman P, that is an S-band radar. It works just below 3 gigahertz. So very wideband signal, below 3 gigahertz. It seems to be, and the craft followed by the RB-47 that the late Dr. James McDonald wrote about, the RB-47 being a reconnaissance aircraft, they detected with their onboard signals collection systems a 3 gigahertz signal coming from that they followed. There were 2 radars at White Sands testing the V2, and those radars, the SCR 587, they were called. It's a 3 gigahertz signal.
Interesting.
So 3 gigahertz for some reason seems to be the magic wavelength, frequency rather.
Yeah, or dog whistle.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But according to this Major General Alexeyev, they were able to lure down these craft and interact with them.
I mean, I'd like to see it happen. Yeah. And I wish them the best. I hope that this is something that can be made public and can be shared with everybody.
Yeah, and I have classified sources documenting
interactions,
that type of interaction, but I can't talk about it because
it's classified.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. That would be awesome to watch, like the interaction and stuff that he's talking about. Until then, I'm going to be very skeptical.
This imaginary game we're all playing where we pretend to be someone we're not at work so we can get money that we pretend is valuable, so we can pay for our house that we pretend to own, and we can watch people pretend to be something else on social media, and we listen to a government that's pretending that they care about us, and we're going to a store to buy food that they're pretending is healthy.
What the fuck? We are now getting new images, satellite images, showcasing the damage the United States did to Iran. And we're looking at 3 different sites here. This is the first one. This is Isfahan. And there's a few things to look at here. You could see clearly things got hit and a few things looks like down this way. It is kind of hard to tell, but you could tell how these buildings are kind of new and these ones are kind of burnt out. These are more than likely from the tomahawks sent from the submarines. When it comes to the bunker busters, we're seeing damage like this. This is one of the other facilities they hit. You can see a giant hole here and down here. This is the outline in which there are facilities underground. And this is another image, the same one I showed you before, but it's a little bit different, of Fordo, which we showed you guys earlier. You can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. As a reminder, the United States did not declare war. If someone's telling you that they did, that's false information. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated though, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Oh, that sounds crazy in my ears.
Seriously, what the f?
Bro, all these college guys stealing it to take it all back to their dorm. That's nuts. Wow.
Creator of ChatGPT does something suspicious and I'm going to let you in on it. I'm also going to explain why he does it. But first I need to give you guys a baseline example. Have you guys ever seen the movie Grandma's Boy? Well, in case you haven't, the plot goes like this. There is a gentleman that works at a video game company. He is very talented when it comes to playing video games and when it comes to creating them. And there is a little dickhead who is determined to be number 1. And long story short, the antagonist, the tiny dickhead, ends up stealing the protagonist's game that he's been building himself. The antagonist tosses it around. Everybody believes that he genuinely made it until the protagonist brings his grandma in to play the game. Because the grandma was there when the protagonist was building the game, she knows all the cheat codes that the guy who stole it doesn't know. And she uses them. And in the movie, that is how they prove that the antagonist stole the game from the protagonist. Because the antagonist is not aware of the cheat codes and is not aware of the secret information. This is a very good, very standard, very human way to gauge if somebody is lying about something that they built. Seeing who knows the hidden information versus who doesn't. The creator of ChatGPT walks around with a backpack on that essentially has a kill switch or a kill code for his AI. Do you know what that implies? That implies he is not aware of everything it can do. That implies he doesn't have the cheat codes. That isn't saying, I made this, I own it, it's my brainchild. That is saying, we took this from somewhere else and we're afraid they're going to remember. If you built it from the ground up, you know all the cheat codes, plain and fucking simple. And if you just happen to find it, or reverse engineer it, you ain't gonna have the cheat codes. Motherfucker, you just pulled the JP in front of everybody and nobody even noticed. Allegedly.
It's definitely allegedly, because no one would carry a kill switch around for something like that. It'd be a lot more dangerous to do that than it would just to be, like, not have one at all. Like, really, you should just not have one at all would be the safest bet, and if you're gonna make it a physical object or something that you can carry it around. Because, yeah, any group of people could intercept that and just end it if they really felt so. So, like, come on now. We all know that's a conspiracy.
Oh my gosh, this car just freaking drove into the fireworks place. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Oh my gosh.
Car just drove into the fireworks store.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I did a video on that when it first happened, and I didn't see all of these extra angles.
Miss, what would you rate us from 1 to 10?
That's easy. You are a 10.
Yeah. She thinks I'm a 10.
No, I meant you guys standing together look like the number 10.
Was there a reason for doing that? Notice it said, for sale or trade, good engine. I don't know about that. Alrighty, well, that's all we have for today, everybody. I hope you had a good time hanging out watching these videos. I had a pretty good time hanging out watching these videos. Some pretty crazy ones today. Again, I appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing, all the likes, the subscribes, all the shares, all the chat interactions, all the comments, everything that you guys have been doing. Again, we have the Discord in the description. It's still new, nobody's really in there, it needs some work, but it's there. I hope that everyone has a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Peace.
Now